Hey guys, this is Tauna. Today we're going to be talking about cards to pick up before Aetherdrift's reveal stream. So this is later this week on Wednesday my time, Tuesday US time. We're going to be seeing the reveal stream, initial reveal stream for Aetherdrift, which is still like, what, 2 months away? It's not until the 14th of February. So this is a little bit early, but I don't know. They've got like Innistrad stuff happening, I guess, for the next month. So they got to get this out of the way. I don't know. It's really weird. Either way, we're going to be able to see some of the new cards that will be coming with Aetherdrift and likely get a little bit more of information about the different like cards and different mechanics and all that kind of stuff. And I'm kind of looking forward to it. It looks like a very interesting set. So this is going to be revealing, as I said, later this week or some of the cards. And then it's going to be releasing February 14th. It's going to be a race across various different planes to win the Aether Spark. We don't know what the Aether Spark does besides the fact that it is a legendary artifact planeswalker and an equipment. So assumedly you can equip it to someone and buff them up or something. I don't know. Obviously, there's lots of vehicles and stuff within it. We don't know if there's going to be mounts or not, but assumedly there is, because there was a thing where Marrow was talking about the fact that an upcoming set was using mounts at the same time that OTJ was looking at mounts, so they had to kind of figure them out together. So assumedly we will see mounts within this as well. Each color combination is going to be a different team, but not necessarily a different creature type. So therefore, the Rakdos team, it's a team together, but they're not necessarily all going to be like goblins or something. They could be primarily goblins, but they're not necessarily all going to be goblins. We've seen the goblins, insects, zombies, humans, and Chandra so far. We've also seen, I think it was sharks as well. There's at least one shark that I've seen. So there's going to be a wide variety of actual creature types, but we don't know how that's going to play into the actual color combinations. Like, for example, Dimir is not necessarily going to be all sharks, but it could be like pirates or something. Now, each allied color combination will also have a new Gear Hulk from like the Kaladesh kind of thing, continuing those on. And it's likely there is only 2 precons. We've seen on the different websites where you can order merch and everything that there was only 2 commander precon boxes / sleeves, which is really weird because usually there's one for each. So it means that there's likely only 2 precons, but and some people have said, hey, wouldn't it be cool if we had like a mount precon and a vehicle precon? And I agree with that, but we'll see as to how that goes. I'm going to be very interested to see how the precons go here. All right, so these are the 3 revealed cards so far. The actual revealed cards, not, card art or anything. We've seen more art than just this, but the cards. We've got Doretti here, who is based off of the greatest mounting value of artifacts you control, and then you can sack an artifact and bring one back from your graveyard. We've got Bright Glass Gear Hulk, which is when it enters, you can tutor up 2 artifacts, creatures, or enchantments with mana value 1 or less. And then we've got Earth Rumbler here, which is a vehicle that has, when you exile an artifact or creature card from your graveyard, it becomes an artifact creature until the end of turn. This mentions about the Brood. So very likely, I think that Golgari, despite the fact they said, hey, it's not necessarily all the same creatures, I feel like Golgari is very much going to be insects, and at least very much likely going to be self-mill because of the fact that it's got something similar to like that evidence mechanic that we saw within MKM, where you exile stuff to do something extra. This is exile an artifact or creature from your graveyard, it becomes an artifact creature. So basically, bypassing the crew requirement. So one of the red factions, likely Rakdos, has Doretti within it and likely going to use Sacrifice then. So sack your artifacts or, throw your vehicles at things and sacrifice them, etc. Silencia might be weenies, but I'm not sure. The fact that it shows you could find mana value 1 or less makes me think that it is going to be that, but we'll see as to how that ends up going there. The cards, I'm going to suggest ones here, cards that I don't think are going to be reprinted and not likely to see reprinted within precons either, in my opinion. Obviously, this is my opinion and I might be wrong. Maybe they surprise us and they're like, hey, that card there, we are going to reprint it. They're also ones that aren't necessarily all expensive. Some of them are going to be expensive, but I suspect that they might go up at least a little bit after this because, you know, people who may not have built a vehicle deck so far might look at it and be like, yeah, I'm going to build a vehicle deck because of this. So these are the cards to kind of keep an eye on, in my opinion. Before we get into it, though, make sure you guys subscribe. Make sure you share the video around, all that kind of stuff. We are on the final stretch towards our 10,000 subscribers goal by the end of the year. And then I don't even know where to go from there. Do we go to 10,000, like 15,000, 20,000? I don't know. Someone said about instant speed news, and I absolutely love that. And maybe that should be my new slogan, because honestly, this is the best place for you guys to get news that's up to date, you know, as soon as it's coming out, kind of thing. So first of all, these two guys from the new Capenna precons built around vehicles. I love them. I think that, you know, Shorikai himself is one of the best vehicle commanders, as well as just an amazing commander for so many different things, and definitely going to be a really great card in here. And then Kotori here, making it so that all your vehicles have crew 2. So even if they have, like, you know, crew 6 or something, it goes down to crew 2, which is great. And giving one of your artifact creatures lifelink and vigilance, really, really great. We've got Edward Kenway. If you want to build a vehicle deck, Edward is amazing. I love it. He's my vehicle deck, and oh, great. He's going to create treasures. He's going to, you know, steal stuff. There's just so much cool stuff you can do with him. Obviously not going to get reprinted here, and, you know, going to get a lot of great cards from this. So some of them are, you know, just cards you can use as your commander from cards that are going to come out with Aetherdrift, like Edward, so you can make some great use of all this cool stuff. We've got Bellow. I've got Bellow as my other vehicle deck, and I am so looking forward to turning all of these cool vehicles into elemental creatures and just throwing them at people. Cyberdrive Awakener. Now, this one here is one that I could potentially see getting a reprint. However, it is very new Capenna themed. So it might get reprinted within a precon, but I'm not sure. Either way, you know, can be an amazing, amazing card for any, you know, artifact creature deck, let alone a vehicle deck that is going to be wanting to throw things at people, which is going to be all of them, and has blue in it. Now, we've got Cynical Loner here. So this one, it was from Duskmourn, and it's got the ability that whenever it's tapped during your second main phase, when your second main phase begins, you get to search your library for a card, put it into your graveyard, then shuffle. This is going to be a great, essentially a repeatable entomb that you can make use of with, like, Doretti. So if you've got, like, something that creates, say, treasures, right? Let's say you got something that's creating treasures. Doretti is active. Doretti, you can sack that treasure and therefore bring back whatever Cynical Loner chucks into your graveyard. It's a way to be able to tutor up any of your artifacts. We've got Astor, Bearer of Blades. You're going to be able to give all your vehicles crew 1. What's better than crew 2? Crew 1. You've got equipments giving equip 1 as well. Not super useful here, but just got to vehicle stuff. Miriam, Herd Whisperer, giving all your vehicles and mounts hexproof, because they could potentially bring mounts back, right? Mounts could easily come back. It's also going to give +1 to all of those. We've got Rip Spawn Hunter. I built a little deck built around this for my YouTube channel for my members, and you can go, you know, become a member. You can get that. And Rip obviously pulled from Alien, and, you know, making use of that kind of Ripley, using the vehicles, and you've got creatures that she's able to chuck all of them into your hand. It's really cool. We got Ornery Tumblewag, a mount from OTJ that's going to be able to double +1s on creatures. Really great, especially if, you know, white green ends up being +1s, as it always is. You're going to be able to put those out and then be able to double them, and especially if it is, you know, white weenies, you can get so many +1s out onto things. We've got Joyra, Weatherlight Captain. Now, this one here I could easily see being reprinted in a precon, but then again, you know, maybe not, because of the fact that it's just such a strong card. Whenever you cast a historic, you get to draw a card, and all of your artifacts are historic. So whenever you cast a vehicle, draw a card is great. We've got Dazzling Theater and Prop Room, one of my favorite cards of all time, and I will be preaching this until the end of the earth. It's one card that I want to put in nearly every deck because it's just so strong. Giving all your creature cards Convoke. But also untap all of your creatures. It is so great in, like, you know, any kind of deck with vehicles or any deck that's making use of tapping things, because of the fact that you're going to be able to untap all your creatures. So now you can, you know, tap all your creatures down, to crew your vehicles, throw your vehicles at people, whether they're tapped or not, who knows, and then they untap all your creatures. So now you've got your blockers back up too. It's great. We got Imhotep the Stormlord. So if you are building one around, you know, artifacts going into your graveyard and then bringing them back, like with that Duretti, boom, now you've got an amazing card that you can chuck in there that's going to create a whole bunch of warrior tokens that can then even crew your vehicles as well, and also buff one of your vehicles up, because why not? We got Alebo, Ancient Witness, giving all your artifact creatures haste. So now all your vehicles have haste. And then also, whenever they attack, you can deal damage to targets. And Scry, based off the number of tapped artifacts. It's great. You're going to have so many artifacts in a vehicle deck that's going to be dealing damage and scrying all over the place. Desynchronization is crazy great in this deck, or any kind of, you know, artifact-based vehicle deck, because now you're going to return all non-land permanents that aren't historic. All your artifacts are historic, or if, you know, you're crewing your artifacts with legendaries, they're going to stick around as well, back to people's hands. Really good. We got Whir of Invention. So it's got Improvise, so you can tap down your artifacts to be able to pay for it, and then you get to tutor up an artifact onto the battlefield. Really, really good. Unearthly Child. This is one that for some reason people miss, because they read it and they're like, oh, you get to reveal for a doctor or a doctor's companion, and they just miss this vehicle part. With my deck, my Edward Kenway deck, this is crazy, because you're just going to be able to go through, find a vehicle, put it out. It's not tutoring. It's like just revealing from the top, get a vehicle, put it into your hand. And it's going to be getting you a vehicle each turn for the next 3 turns. It's really, really great, because people just read this first 2 parts of it and just completely miss that you can get a vehicle with it too. We've got Dance of the Manse. Dance of the Manse? I think that's how you pronounce it. I don't know. Return your vehicles from your graveyard to the battlefield. Boom, now they're all 4/4s. We've got Redress Fate. Similar thing, just, you know, but there's a few cards that do something similar, but this one here has Miracle as well. So when you draw it, now you can cast it for 4 and be able to get all of those artifacts back from your graveyard that, you know, say someone's board wiped you, boom, now they're all back. We've got Split Up. I think this one's going to be really strong in this set, because people are going to be tapping down their creatures to man their vehicles, then throwing their vehicles. So now you're going to be able to wipe out, you know, potentially all of their creatures that they've just crewed things with. They're left with a whole bunch of vehicles that they can't crew now. I think it's going to be really great in this set. Either that, or you just destroy all their untapped stuff as well. If you've now, you know, tap down all your vehicles, tap down all your creatures, now you get to, you know, wipe out all their untapped stuff. We got the Indomitable. 1, it's got, you know, that whole Bident of Thassa kind of thing on it. 2, you can also cast it from your graveyard if you've got, you know, tap down vehicles, which is cool. We've got the Reaver Titan and the Thunderhawk Gunship, stuff from, you know, the Warhammer stuff is not going to get reprinted, so you can make use of these, and they're both really great vehicles that are going to be doing some amazing work here. We've got the Pridden from Fallout, which is going to be a great one as well, because it's going to be able to create some white human knights, and then that also become 4/4s potentially. Nautilus ship from the CLB from Baldur's Gate. Get to steal things and then be able to put the creature, like exile people's graveyard, then put all those creatures out onto the battlefield one at a time, which is cool. Head Shredder. So if the other one is actually going to be a mill-based deck, this is going to be crazy for that, because now whenever you mill those lands, they're going to go and enter the battlefield tapped from your graveyard. Oh, it's so great. And then Ripples of Undeath. I'm just going to be praising this card forever, because you get to mill 3, then get to put 1 back onto the back into your hand potentially if you want to. Unwinding Clock. Untap all your artifacts. Really, really great. We've got RMS, Titanic, and Cybership. So the Doctor Who vehicles. Cybership lets you steal 2 cards off the top of someone's library as face down Cyberman. And then RMS Titanic, if that other one is actually sacrifice based, or even if it's just, you know, recursion like that Duretti is, now you can recur this Titanic back onto the battlefield, throw it at people's face again, and create even more treasures, because why not? Simulcarium, Synthesizer, you know, just a repeatable Urza, which is really great. Yeah, just whenever you cast a big artifact, boom, now you're creating that colorless construct that just gets bigger with each artifact you've got. We've got Storm the Vault and Vault of Catlacan. You know, this is what the Tolarian Academy that's banned on one side, or it's just create a whole bunch of treasures on the other side. And you're going to have 5 or more artifacts, so you're just going to be able to flip this so easily and create so much mana from it. We've got the Artificer class as well, making it so that, one, the first artifact you cast each turn is costing less, or once you get down to the bottom, just create a freaking token copy of any artifact you control. Now your vehicle, well, now you've got 2 of them. What's this? Commander? You can only have 1 of each card? Not anymore. We got Pia's Revolution. Now, if you do have that, you know, sacrifice-based one with the Daretti, as long as you're sacrificing a non-token artifact for it, you're going to be able to deal damage to people or return it back to your hand. We got the Tezzerets. A lot of the Tezzerets are going to be great here. The 2 I looked at here were Tezzeret the Unseeker, untap your artifacts, because why not? And then Tezzeret Master of the Bridge, making it so that, one, your creatures have affinity to artifacts, really great, make them cost less. Or the second part here, just deal damage to people based off of how many artifacts you've got, or return an artifact from your library, from your graveyard to your hand. Just so many of the Tezzerets are great here. We got this Crystal Skull Isu Spyglass. So this is essentially like a Mystic Forge, but you can also play historic lands with it. Plus, you can play any historic spells, not just colorless ones, or, you know, anything. It doesn't need to even be an artifact. It could be a legendary. It could be a saga. You can also tap it for blue. It's really good. So, thoughts? What do you guys think? Make sure you pick up some of these if you think that you're going to build a vehicle deck, because, you know, some of these are going to be amazing in it. Most of them aren't kind of niche. Like, you know, if, like, having a look at this Simulcarium Synthesizer, it could be any blue vehicle deck that this is going to be able to fit into, that is going to go up with. You know, Head Shredder is more precise. It needs to have some mill for it. Most of them are, you know, they're colorless vehicles as well that are going to be great here. So let me know what you guys think. Have a great day and goodbye.